Now at 9, how a group in Barton County, Missouri is helping preserve old veteran cemeteries. Plus, we'll find out which Southwest Missouri schools are receiving grant funds to improve safety measures, and why federal authorities say 2 hospitals that denied a Joplin woman an emergency abortion broke the law.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Federal authorities say 2 hospitals that denied a Joplin woman an emergency abortion broke the law. The investigation covered Freeman Health System in Joplin and the University of Kansas Hospital in Kansas City, Kansas. They say last August the hospitals refused to provide an abortion to Melissa Farmer. Her water broke early at 17 weeks of pregnancy. Doctors said her fetus would not survive and she was at risk for serious infection or losing her uterus. They wouldn't terminate the pregnancy because a fetal heartbeat was still detectable. Federal law requires doctors to treat patients in emergency situations and trump those state laws. You can learn more about the investigation and Melissa Farmer's story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Neosho Police Department and other law enforcement agencies are asking for help finding a suspect they call dangerous. Authorities say 38-year-old James Herbert is wanted for crimes such as vehicle theft, property damage, and fleeing from authorities. They say he is 5'8" with red hair and brown eyes, but they believe he changed his look by shaving or coloring his hair. If you spot him or have information about where he may be, call the police. As parks become more populated with families and residents, the city of Lamar, Missouri wants to remind that respecting parks can go a long way. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to Lamar's Parks and Rec about how a clean park can impact the community.
Park workers at Lamar City Park walked in on a disgusting scene in the park's bathroom. Mud and dirt on the walls, tattered tissue on the floor, soap dispenser in the toilet, all for the park workers to clean up.
We clean the bathrooms daily, especially during the springtime and summer when we have a lot of people in the park. And it's not very often that we have a big mess, but both yesterday and today, there were big messes for him to clean up. And then we also had some vandalism of one of the concession stands.
Vandalism isn't common at the park, but it does have consequences. If the vandalized item is over $750, the consequences could include a felony.
It's off and on. It seems like it does happen more often during the summertime when it's warmed up. People are out walking around. We find teenagers out moving around more at night. You know, the temperatures are getting nicer. They're wanting to get out of their house and do things.
The park workers usually spend an hour cleaning the bathrooms daily, but this mess took half the day to clean.
It's discouraging for us. It doesn't allow those people to have the best possible experience they could have. And it takes extra time away from us doing essential things like weed eating and mowing and weeding the flower beds and all the little things that we need to get done, and some bigger projects we want to work on as well.
Police and park workers believe the uptick in vandalism is by the hands of some rowdy teenagers.
Wanting to create a little mischief, probably testing their boundaries, and they don't realize that the effect of things that they're doing have on other people. I said, we just take a lot of pride, and I know our city takes a lot of pride in our parks, so we want to do everything that we can to keep it as nice as possible for all the users of the park. There's a whole lot to do in our park without having to vandalize the bathrooms.
Reporting in Lamar, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Due to the labor and cost of the cleanup, the park workers have to put off other things like getting the pool ready for summer days. And now to weather, meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with the first look.
Yeah, it's not going to be too long before people are going to want to jump in the pool as the heat comes in. But we've been seeing some pretty nice weather here lately. Radar is clear right now, and not just here in our local area, but across the entire region. Not a thing to be found, and that's kind of unusual this time of year. What's not unusual is the allergies. Today it was 9.9, same thing tomorrow. Most of that is oak, mulberry, and walnut ponds. And if we take a look at the temperatures tonight, dropping through the 40s all the way down into the upper 30s by morning with mostly fair skies. Looking down the lane, we do have some changes though. Cool mornings, terrific Tuesday, some storms on Thursday and Friday, and maybe a stormy pattern setting up, and I'll tell you more about that in just a little while.
A new healthcare option is making its way to Pittsburgh. Mercy announced the acquisition of 2 primary clinics in the city. The healthcare provider acquired the practices of Dr. Jacqueline Orender and Dr. Holly Cranston. Both clinics will stay in their current locations at 2305 South Tucker Terrace and 1015 Mount Carmel Place. All providers and staff have been offered the chance to become Mercy coworkers. The acquisition will become official and final on May 22nd. Missouri Governor Mike Parson today announced grants for more than 100 Missouri schools aimed at improving safety measures. That includes security upgrades, bleeding control kits, and automatic external defibrillators. Several local schools are receiving funds. Carthage R9 and Webb City R7 districts are both receiving $400,000. East Newton R6 and Seneca R7 will both get $200,000. Lamar R1 school district is getting $150,000, and just under $100,000 is going towards Sarcoxy R2. The school year is almost up, which means it's time for standardized tests. Statewide MAP testing in Missouri measures how well students acquire the skills and knowledge described in the Missouri Learning Standards. Officials with the Carthage School District says the school has conducted training for teachers to ensure they administer the test correctly and set up testing rooms according to protocol.
They have access to them and they can practice with them. The teachers also, like we specifically target our Missouri Learning Standards, which is what the MAP test assesses us on. So we make sure that our students are prepared. We don't want them to be surprised by anything.
The district says state testing can help teachers plan for future instruction that meets their students' strengths and weaknesses. A local group is working across state lines to preserve old cemeteries that serve as the final resting place of veterans and elderly individuals. KOAM Shagun Bomdali has more.
The mission of Not Forgotten Barton County, Missouri cemeteries is to protect and maintain cemeteries, particularly those that are at least 50 years old and have fallen into disrepair.
Because it's history and it's people's loved ones. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. And not only that, there's some Civil War veterans buried in a lot of these different cemeteries.
A local genealogist says these cemeteries can preserve lots of information needed to track a loved one.
Those persons once lived, all those persons that are buried there, all those persons have descendants, or most of those persons have descendants that are still living and want to visit the cemetery and place flowers in their memory. And it's pretty hard to do for some of these abandoned cemeteries.
Some cemeteries face the threat of erasement.
There's some that's been bulldozed in Barton County and Crawford County. Then there's some that's people used it for animals, like pasture for like cows and different things. And the animals have just destroyed the cemetery, the headstones, and people just don't take care of them.
Although the headstones are still visible, most cemeteries this group is saving are covered with grass and bushes.
We would like to get them listed as historical preservation and get them preserved and protected so that like later on they will have somebody that can be able to maintain them all the time and they will be able to be upkept.
In Barton County, Shagun Bomdali, KOAM News.
The group says there are 33 abandoned cemeteries in Barton and Crawford County. An old car gets its spot back in Joplin. The 64 Corvette has accompanied murals in the Route 66 Mural Park in downtown Joplin since 2013. Back in January, it has been a way to get some work done on it. Today, it was installed back in its former spot after some minor repairs and a new fresh coat of paint.
Back in 2013, when we put Mural Park in there, we were looking for things to get people to stop on Route 66, spend more time downtown, spend more time in Joplin, and it's proven to be that. It's a very valuable asset for us.
The Route 66 Mural Park is at 1619 South Main Street on the southeast corner. Coming up, what a new study shows about how far Americans are willing and what they're willing to do to lose weight. A new study shows the methods Americans are willing to do to lose weight. The survey of more than 1,000 people from the health care company Roe and the Obesity Action Coalition show a whopping 87% of obese Americans trying to lose weight in the last 5 years. Many have tried at least 3 different methods. About half of those with obesity say they'd prefer to work from home, fearing they'll be judged because of their weight, or they've been teased or treated unfairly by medical professionals. Nutritionists are warning about additives and sugars in many drinks. Energy drinks, which have become more popular, are one of the riskiest according to one nutritionist. That's because they raise blood pressure and stress and harm your sleep patterns. Some pre-workout drinks can disrupt your gut health, and supplement drinks are unregulated. Alcoholic cocktails which contain fructose may damage your liver, and traditional sodas are bad for your health because of added sugars which can lead to obesity. A new study finds long naps to have negative side effects on the body. The findings published in the obesity journal say those who nap more than 30 minutes at midday are likely to be obese or suffer from high blood pressure. The research team studied more than 3,200 patients in Spain where naps called siestas are common. Those who took 2-hour siestas had high body mass indexes and risk of heart issues. That's compared to those taking power naps of 30 minutes or shorter did much better in regards to blood pressure as well. And Sam is back with a complete look at the forecast, and later, Missouri Southern earns the 2 seed in the MIAA softball tournament. We'll hear from the team in sports.
Well, you know the old saying, April showers bring May flowers, and it's now May. And if that's true, we're probably not going to have many May flowers to go around, as it's been extremely dry, including today. Seneca, Missouri, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. And you can see on the tower cam this morning, mostly fair skies. And as this goes into motion, you can see not a cloud in the sky all day long. Lots of blue out there and lots of sunshine too. And as we head towards the evening hours, the sun setting on a beautiful evening across the 4 states yet again. We definitely need some rainfall across the area. We made it up to 66 today after starting out at a chilly 39. Records are 90 and 30 back in 1960. We're already behind on the rainfall for the month, around 2/10, and for the year we're 4 inches behind so far. We definitely need to catch up. And the drought is not only bad in western Missouri, but the worst of it is out towards the west in Chautauqua and Elk counties. In fact, it's so bad in Sedan, Kansas, it would take almost 16.5 inches of rain in Sedan just to break even. That's a lot of deficit in rainfall. Hopefully we're going to make some changes as we go through the forecast in that, but right now radar is clear across the entire area. We're instead having to focus on the next storm system, which is on the west coast, slowly moving in across the west, and that's going to take its time getting here, but as it does so, we're going to have some pretty nice days, and then the rain starts in around Thursday. Temperatures right now are generally in the 50s across the area. Double nickel down in Anderson, Neosho, and Bella Vista. 51, one of the coolest readings up in Iola. Dew points are very low, and of course, that is to be expected with all the dryness that we've had. Dew points in the 20s right now, a few 30s thrown in, but still that's low for this time of year. 56 in Joplin, west-southwest, west-northwest wind at 5, humidity 33%, and in Pittsburgh 52 degrees and a calm wind. Dew point of 29 gives us a humidity of only 42%. Temperatures tonight are going to drop once again down into the upper 30s and lower 40s with northwesterly winds. And then tomorrow, a carbon copy of today, lots of sunshine, blue skies, temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And then as we go through the overnight hours into Wednesday morning, we're going to see lows once again in the 30s off towards the east, 40s out towards the west. And then Wednesday afternoon, increasing clouds, but we should still make it up into the mid-70s for the most part with light and variable winds. Then as we go into Thursday morning, look at this. Actually some scattered showers on the map, especially up towards the north with highs in the mid-50s. Hopefully that is a portent of things to come. Now on Wednesday, there is a risk of severe weather way down in southwestern Texas. General thunderstorms off towards our west. Closer in view shows a few of our counties out to the west might see an isolated storm or two, but don't get too excited. Rainfall amounts are not going to be all that heavy. Hopefully some places will get more than this, maybe an inch in isolated spots, but generally around a third to maybe half an inch of rainfall with the first system. We're watching this huge storm system over the Great Lakes that will eventually push off towards the east, then another storm system on the west coast, and in between we've got this ridge of high pressure in control, and it's slowly going to give way to the storm system out to the west, and as it does, it'll spit off pieces of energy that will rotate across our area, and that's going to keep the chance of thunderstorms going for at least several days. Some of those could be strong or severe. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Temperature tomorrow, 68, 73 on Wednesday. Storms on Thursday, especially Thursday night into Friday morning. And then as we head into Saturday and Sunday, more storms possible on Sunday and Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So hopefully we will start to put a dent in some of that drought condition.
I wish we could have like a graphic where, you know, it shows like the rainfall filling up till we reach the amount of inches that we need to break it.
Oh yeah, like one of those fundraising thermometers.
Yeah. And then we reach it and then it's like, all right, drought's broken, and then
we should do that.
Fireworks go off.
That's right.
Maybe we'll see. All right, thank you, Sam. Coming up, no one's budging in the latest negotiations after the federal debt ceiling. The House is out of session this week, but it doesn't mean the debt limit standoff has simmered down. It may be a long battle to raise the debt limit so the country can pay its bills. The U.S. could default as soon as June 1st. The ball is now in President Biden's court. Fox News chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel reports on the latest of the negotiations.
Deadlock and he said, she said. That's where the debt ceiling fight stands, with both sides far apart.
America's never, ever, ever failed to pay its debt.
The only way you solve problems is you negotiate.
Last week, House Republicans upped the ante when they narrowly passed their debt limit bill, which expands the country's borrowing power and trims federal spending. It was the opening to negotiations, but Democrats won't take up a proposal that trades a debt ceiling hike for spending cuts.
We pay our bills, and we should do so without reckless hostage-taking from some of the mega Republicans in Congress.
For now, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer won't put the GOP plan to a Senate vote. Instead, there will be committee hearings that he hopes will sway Americans against what he calls reckless legislation.
We'll show the American people how the Default on America Act would cut critical funding to nearly all sectors of American life.
This is all politicized operations by this administration. We're delivering.
Republicans say they have done their part to stave off a default, but President Biden's been MIA.
The president still hasn't talked to me.
Even some House Democrats believe President Biden should negotiate, but with no talks on the table and a looming default as soon as June, the nation's economy is on the line.
Higher interest rates, higher credit card rates, mortgage rates will skyrocket.
The Treasury Department is expected to notify Congress soon with a more exact estimate of when it could run out of cash. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
A new report says 14 million current jobs will not exist in 5 years. That makes up about 2% of the present job field. This comes following the World Economic Forum's recent findings on the future of jobs. Artificial intelligence within companies will have both a negative and positive effect, while new jobs will be made to manage AI. That same technology can also kick those in administrative and record-keeping roles to the curb. Slowing economic growth and rising inflation is also contributing to the job loss. Up next, we'll check out the creative way these construction workers moved a multi-million-pound bridge. Workers used the power of dish soap to move a multi-million-pound bridge. The Utah Department of Transportation is sharing a video of their clean technique for moving a 5.3 million-pound bridge dish soap. The new crew was using a method called accelerated bridge construction, where they built a new structure next to an old one and then demolished the first. The giant piece of bridge was shifted about 110 feet with the help of low friction pads and Dawn dish soap. About 16 gallons of soap were used. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. How a Southwest Missouri floating and camping site is getting ready for the summer season. Plus, a new look for the city of Joplin's wayfinding signs. We'll also take a look. With summer approaching, rivers are going to be full of kayaks, canoes, and rafts. Big Elk's floating and camping site is located in Pineville, Missouri. They're open for the season, but are still working to make sure everything is ready for all their guests. KOAM's Carrie Worthen paid a visit to the site and has more.
We're in the fun business. We love people, and it's so great to see people that came back in the 80s that are now bringing their grandchildren. It's family.
Big Elk's Float and Camping in Pineville, Missouri has already opened for the season. From a variety of kayaks, canoes, paddleboards, and tubes, there are multiple ways to float down the river.
We have aluminum canoes and we have plastic canoes. We have paddle boards. We have 3 different kinds of tubes to float in. And the tube business is huge because we'll give people a tube with a kayak paddle, and it's just fun.
Big Elk's daily hours may open at 8 a.m., but they strive to help their customers to the fullest extent.
We have a lot of times people that come in early and want to go upstream on Big Sugar to float and fish. We meet them early, sometimes 6:30, 7 o'clock, we'll meet them. You know, we're in the customer business, and that's what drives us.
Daniel says safety is one of the most important things, from going through every canoe and kayak to checking every life jacket and paddle.
We're looking forward to a big season. We're ready. We're known to have the cleanest restrooms on the river. We have the cleanest fans, the safest fans we feel. Safety is very, very important to us because it just ensures a better trip for our customers. When we're on our A game, our customers are going to be on an A+ game.
In Pineville, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Big Elk has 17 cabins, 2 of which are newly built, and added some new rock to the RV pads to get ready for the summer. The Girard, Kansas Public Library gave people a chance to brush up on their art skills with paint. Folks were able to come out, get a canvas, and follow step-by-step instructions to create a masterpiece. Officials say the paint night lets people have fun and practice their creativity.
It is a community paint night. This is part of a series of paint nights that we're doing here at the library. Part of what we're doing with the paint nights is offering these as a small fundraiser for the library. So part of the money will come back to the library to purchase additional materials for our patrons.
You can find other events such as this one on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Wayfinding signs are getting a fresh look in Joplin. New signs are being installed. The signs depict the city's new branding and will replace existing signs. The current signs have been in place for the past 9 years. The wayfinding system is designed to help guests staying in Joplin hotels and traveling to various tourist spots in the city.
We find that a lot of people will plan with paper. They'll use GPS when they're going, but yet a good wayfinding sign helps them to finally make their destination in town.
The city says it should take all week to replace the 39 signs. Hunter Biden, the president's son, appeared before an Arkansas judge today. He's seeking to reduce child support payments previously agreed to in an installment for his 4-year-old daughter, Navy, whom he has never met and whom the Biden White House has yet to publicly acknowledge. Biden's lawyer claims he's paying the child's mother $20,000 a month, totaling over $750,000 so far. And as Sarah Murray reports, the judge ordered Hunter to provide additional answers about his finances.
The president's son appearing in an Arkansas courtroom today. The hearing related to a years-old paternity dispute after the mother of his child, London Roberts, accused Hunter Biden of ignoring earlier court orders and withholding evidence. Now the judge says Hunter must answer more questions about his investments, art sales, and other financial transactions as part of the child support case. He will also sit for a June deposition where he'll be questioned under oath. You can't say, "These are my tax returns. Good luck. You figure it out," the judge said, ordering up details on Hunter's taxes. This cryptic hide-the-ball game isn't going to cut it when we get to trial. What began as a 2019 paternity case, morphing into a battle over Hunter's overseas business dealings, the now infamous laptop, and other financial issues, all as Hunter faces scrutiny from both criminal and congressional investigators. Republican lawmakers have launched a sprawling probe into the Biden family's business dealings, seeking many of the same financial records London Roberts is trying to access.
Well, we found a lot that's certainly unethical. We found a lot that should be illegal. The line is blurry as to what is legal and not legal with respect to family influence peddling.
Last week, Hunter's lawyers met with Justice Department officials as prosecutors weigh whether to bring charges related to failure to file taxes, tax evasion, and a false statement charge related to a gun purchase. Sources say Hunter has maintained his innocence.
I am absolutely certain, 100% certain, that at the end of the investigation, that I will be cleared.
As for the paternity case, Hunter initially denied fathering the child, but a DNA test confirmed he is the biological father. Hunter has since agreed to pay child support, paying $750,000 to the mother so far, his lawyer said in court.
A bit later, as robots pop up in more and more industries, we'll learn about a company using the bots for security.
Well, another beautiful day across the 4 states. Lots of blue skies and warm temperatures, and on the wind side, not too bad. Right now in Seneca, Missouri, the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, we have clear skies and a mild evening shaping up across the entire area. We did make it up to 66 today after starting out at a chilly 39. Of course, that's because of the dry air in place. We get these wild fluctuations in temperature. 91 the record, 30 back in 1960, and we're already behind on the rainfall for the month, and we're about 4 inches behind so far on the year. You know, we've been talking a lot about this drought, and you can see that it extends all the way from western Missouri all the way down into southeastern Kansas, where it is exceptional drought in Elk and Chautauqua counties. And what do we mean by that? Well, here's a graph to show you what this looks like. Over the last year, so from May 1st of last year to May 1st of this year, normally there would be 40 inches of rainfall in Sedan, Kansas. So far, they've had 28.33, which means they are about 12 inches behind on rainfall. And that's a lot. And they're not going to get it all in one time, hopefully not. But we need to start inching away at that. And it looks like the forecast does have some rainfall in our forecast, but not tonight. Mostly fair across the area. Radar's all clear. We have to look all the way out to the west coast before the next storm system is seen, and it's now coming on shore, but it is slowly moving eastward, and it's going to take its time getting into our area, and until then, we're going to be mostly fair and sunny. Temperatures right now are in the 50s, already down to 47 in Iola, one of the cool spots, 54 degrees up in Stockton. Dew points are in the 20s pretty much across the entire area, a few 30s and 40s. Look, Cassville, 19 on the dew point. That is just bone dry. Right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 56 degrees, west-northwest wind at 5, dew point of 27. And in Pittsburgh, it's 52 degrees, calm wind, and the dew point of 29 and a low humidity of 41%. Temperatures tonight are going to drop quite a bit, especially down into the upper 30s and lower 40s with northwest winds. And then tomorrow, a carbon copy of today, temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s with northerly winds. Then as we go into Wednesday morning, same thing. Lows in the 30s off to the east, 40s out to the west. Notice the winds are going to be turning more to the northeast and east. And then as we head into Wednesday afternoon, increasing clouds with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. And then as we go into Thursday morning, some showers start to break out across our area with lows generally in the 50s and southerly winds. Rainfall amounts on this next system, or at least the first wave, are going to be pretty much less than ½ an inch. Maybe an isolated area gets more than that, but it's not going to be a whole lot. We're going to have to wait for day after day of storms, and we may just get that. Looking at the upper air map, high pressure is going to be shifting off towards the east, and as it does, that big upper level low over western part of the United States will spit off pieces of energy towards us, and as it does, we'll see those chances of rain over and over and over again for several days, and hopefully that will start to chip away at our drought situation. Temperatures tomorrow, though, 68 degrees, 73 on Wednesday. Storms Thursday night into Friday morning. Maybe a little bit of a break on Saturday, but then more storms on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So hopefully we're going to drive a stake in the heart of that drought situation this coming week.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Sam. Coming up in sports, the Missouri Southern softball team aims for their first MIAA tournament title since 2001. Plus, one of the best basketball players in Southwest Missouri signs to continue her career in college. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The regular season is over, and it's time for the playoffs for MIAA college softball. The Missouri Southern Lions have earned the number 2 seed in the conference tournament after going 21-5 in the MIAA in the regular season. The Lions face the 7 seed Emporia State in the first round on Wednesday in Topeka, Kansas. Now, these two teams split a doubleheader earlier this month in Joplin in their only meeting of the regular season. For Missouri Southern this week, trying to get their seniors a ring and trying for their first MIAA tournament title since 2001.
It would mean a lot, and it would mean a lot because I think that would help us put Missouri Southern on the map, and it would mean a lot for these 6 seniors. They have devoted so much time and energy to this program. They have earned anything great that comes their way, and it's every person's goal in this program to get the 6 seniors a ring.
That's what we're striving for, and that'd be huge to me. I mean, being a part of this program for 5 years, and as far as all the other seniors, we're all 5th years, and so I think it would be a huge deal. You know, it would mean a lot to us because we share that passion, we share that goal. We want to go out and win.
Both the Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State baseball teams made the MIAA postseason tournament. Southern faces Newman in a 3-game series in the first round beginning on Friday. The Lions swept 3 games from the Jets in the regular season. First pitch for Game 1 is on Friday at 1 p.m. As for Pittsburgh State, they're matched up with Central Oklahoma in the first round of the MIAA tournament. The Gorillas took 2 out of 3 from the Broncos when they met in the regular season. Game 1 of that 3-game series is at 6 p.m. on Friday night in Pittsburgh. Well, the McDonald County Mustangs have been on a roll in the last few weeks. The Mustangs have won 10 of their last 12 games and sit at 14-7 overall coming into the night. Tonight, McDonald County is at home trying to stay rolling against Carthage. They do it in a shutout this evening, beating the Tigers 9-0. Weston Gordon throws a complete game and allows just 2 hits. Destin Dowd comes through with a grand slam for McDonald County. The Mustangs have now won 11 of their last 13 games. One of the best basketball players in Southwest Missouri signs today to continue her career in college. Carthage senior Kiana Yates is headed to the MIAA, signing today to play at Washburn University. Yates definitely had a decorated career for the Tigers. She leaves Carthage as the program's all-time leading scorer with more than 1,500 total points. She's a 4-time All-District selection and a 3-time All-COC pick. Yates is also a 2-time team MVP. And here she is on her goals when she hits the floor next season for the Ichabods.
Just to improve as a player, I think I have a lot of room where I can keep learning. So hopefully I develop as a player and a person. It was definitely stressful, the whole process, but finally being able to know where I'm going, it is a lot of stress off my shoulders, so I think I'll be able to put in work and just focus on that.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after this.
Robots are popping up everywhere across a variety of professions. Now, one new device is hoping to dominate the security industry. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty takes a closer look.
This autonomous 2-wheeled robot could become the security guard of the future. Created by startup company Asinto Robotics, versions of this little guy are already patrolling several properties in Switzerland for unwelcome guests. While it looks small, this robot is mighty, and it's specially designed to travel over various terrain and elements. It's also armed with a heat-sensing camera to identify the presence of people and cars. According to the company's founder, the device will hopefully make the jobs of human security guards easier and safer.
We chose to go for the security market because this is a place where it's really difficult to find people nowadays. They have to work long hours and they have to work in every weather conditions. We did this job ourselves and it's really brutal.
Instead of employing a team of people, security companies could hire one central guard to monitor the robot as it wanders around large areas.
Center patrols large outdoor areas like data centers, logistics, or manufacturing plants.
The robot can travel at speeds a little over 7 miles per hour. It can patrol for 8 hours before it needs recharging, and it can be rented by the hour depending on a security company's needs. While the cost of employing one of these bots can vary, Asinto Robotics says the price would still be less than hiring a real person. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
The man who has been called the godfather of artificial intelligence is speaking out on the dangers of the technology he helped develop. Godfrey Hinton confirmed Monday he has left his role at Google. His work on neural network-shaped AI systems that power many of today's products. Hinton told the New York Times he left Google so he could speak freely about the risk of AI, but said, quote, Google has acted very responsibly. He said he's concerned about both risks, saying AI could create a world where many will not be able to know what is true anymore. Coming up, how an animal shelter is going all out to find forever homes for all of its pets. We know about the increasing number of pets that need a new home all over the nation. An animal shelter in Boston is trying to help as many pets as they can to find a place that they can call home. Fox's Jim Morelli has more.
All right, this is JJ.
And this is Leo. And over there, scouring the pizza boxes, is Winnie.
Right now, especially Massachusetts is seeing an all-time high for dogs in need of a home.
Dogs such as Pepsi and Dove and Miss Betty.
Betty's our senior.
All hoping to find a family on this, the 42nd National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day.
We just want them to give the dog a chance.
The Bay Path Humane Society in Hopkinton shelters about 30 dogs at a time, as well as cats. Their job, ultimately, is to play matchmaker between people and pets.
We're going to kind of see what you can handle, what you're looking for, so that we can try to fit a good personality to your home.
Personalities shaped by the sometimes difficult lives the dogs have led.
But these dogs are from the South Korea meat trade.
No matter where they came from, these dogs are all aiming for the same destination, home.
And sometimes, you'll just open the door to your car and the dog just shoots right in and you're like, yep, they're going to be fine.
And that's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, we'll leave you with a video of tiger cubs at a Cuban zoo. Be safe. It will do this all again tomorrow. See you then.